Hey, what's going on, family? It's Brother Andrew here with Striving Fitness, and today in this live stream, we're gonna talk about sea moss. Now, I know, it's been all the rage, all the crave the past couple of years. Everybody been on their sea moss awakening journeys, but I went through it too. You know what I'm saying? I've been using sea moss for a few years now, and yeah, I think it's a conversation that need to be had because it may be beneficial for a lot of people out here. So, if this your first time joining in to one of my live streams, welcome, welcome. I'm Brother Andrew, and this channel is all about self improvement. You know what I'm saying? We focus on topics like health, fitness, nutrition, education, and productivity. So yeah, we are all about self-improvement here on this channel. So those are just a few of the things that we'll be talking about on these channels when I do these live streams or when I make video content for you guys. So welcome, and all my people who already been here, who already know who I am, you already know what time it is. Yeah. We're gonna get it in, man. I got some good information for you guys today. And yeah, we're gonna go over sea moss. We're gonna talk about some of the health benefits. We're gonna talk about some of the possible things to be aware of, maybe side effects. We're gonna talk about a little history about it, what it is, go a little in detail, and we're gonna talk about some different forms you may see it in, and just go over a quick rundown of it because I know a lot of social media people, they're talking about sea moss or been talking about sea moss for a long time, raving about the health benefits. And I think it'd just be good for me to, share the information with you guys, stuff I've researched, stuff I've learned, and my experiences with it. And just point you in the directions to let you know, like, if you do want to try, where to get good quality sea moss. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Now, first things up, we're gonna talk about a little bit history of it. Sea moss is pretty much it's a seaweed or algae that grows on rocks in moving water. We'll say it like that, because typically people will say you find it in oceans, but you can simulate the movement of the water and really, get that in any environment. It doesn't have to be grown in an ocean, but typically it naturally occurs in ocean waters. And yeah, it's been used for centuries, like a lot of years, you know what I'm saying? It's often been used as like a food additive and a thickener. So and it can be eaten on its own as well. I've done it like that. You may not like the taste, but it can be eaten like that. And it's known to have many, many, many very vital vitamins and minerals, like, and things like iodine, which is very, very vital health wise, for especially with people with have thyroid issues and stuff like that. So this is gonna be a good live stream. We're gonna talk about all things sea moss today. So I hope you guys are doing good, and hope y'all having a good week. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all right. I can't complain. I cannot complain. Everything good. Everything Gucci over here. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? We still moving, so we all right. We all right. But yeah. Now, where is sea moss usually grown at? Now I got some images of sea moss, because just like any plant or fruit or vegetable, you know what I'm saying, there's many different variations of sea moss as well. Typically, you'll hear about Irish sea moss. That's the most popular sea moss that I've been seeing around, and it's like a tan color. But there's different variations. You can find purple sea moss, you can find green sea moss, red, all different kinds. So I got a picture right here of just a few different colors of sea moss. So check that out. And yeah, as you see, they got the purple, they have the red, and yeah, it's good stuff, all different types. I'm supposed to have a screen overlay on, but for some reason it's not on. You know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop it on now. And there we go. We got our overlay in. So but yeah, we got 3 different kinds. Like I said, the kind on the right is the kind typically I've been seeing in most areas. And but yeah, the purple kind and the different colors, I'm pretty sure they have different nutritional value in each one. And we'll talk about nutritional value later on in this live stream as well. But yeah, it typically is grown in salt water, although you can grow it in fresh water. It's typically grown in salt water. And the way that the sea moss grows, it actually attached to a rock and it gets all its nutrients from the rock. I know it sounds crazy, but plants are one of the most, if not the most resourceful, you know, things that I've, observed in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you can a little blade of grass could grow through concrete. You know what I'm saying? And that's an interesting thing about sea moss. Like it actually attaches to a rock and it absorbs nutrients and minerals from the rock and the surrounding seawater and from the sun. Typically, sea moss is grown in shallow water so it can receive some nutrients from the sun as well. And I thought that was very, very interesting about sea moss. But sea moss can be harvested year round, but the best time is during the fall and the winter when the ocean is less turbulent, like it's less movement. So divers can go in there and get the sea moss up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Now, where you get your sea moss from is very, very important. Okay, because the surroundings that the sea moss is in will dictate the nutrients that's in the sea moss. For instance, let's say if you know about husbandry or farming, okay, if the soil plays a big part in how healthy a plant will be, and that same thing goes for water when we're talking about sea moss, because the sea moss absorbs its nutrients from the rock, from the surrounding water, and from the sun. So if the sea moss is grown in polluted water, the sea moss may absorb that pollution within it. And so that's why it's good to be mindful where you get your sea moss from. Do your research if you're purchasing sea moss online and stuff like that. Typically, you want to stay away from sea moss that was harvested in Asiatic countries, because they're known to have more polluted waters due to a lot of historical events, with nuclear, things and stuff like that. So if you're gonna get sea moss, I would say stay away from sea moss that was harvested in Asian countries, because it's a well-known fact that their water has been polluted, in the past. So that's something to consider when you're getting your sea moss as well. Now, a lot of people ask, is it healthy to eat? Although extensive research hasn't been done on sea moss, it has been proven healthy to eat, like with minimum issues. Although some people do report some side effects, it's generally typically healthy to eat. It's very rich in iodine, which is necessary for healthy thyroid function and immunity. And it has been shown to help lower blood pressure and bad cholesterol, which are key factors in heart health. So if you have, heart issues, or, sea moss may be something that's good for you in your diet. And it's also a good source of fiber and other nutrients such as vitamins and minerals. Sea moss is one of those very, very dense, is in nutritional value, like minerals and vitamins. Is very, very dense, meaning it contains a lot of those. So you can get a good variation of vitamins and minerals by taking in sea moss. But like I said, we have to be mindful of how the sea moss is harvested, because all sea moss is not created equal. So if you're getting sea moss from an area that is in polluted water, or that sea moss is not getting as much sunlight, or that sea moss maybe isn't attached to a rock, but maybe attached to another structure, it may not be receiving as many minerals and vitamins as, wild crafted sea moss. And that's one thing I want to talk about, the different type of sea moss you will find typically on the market. You have wild crafted sea moss. You have wild harvested sea moss. Now we're going to talk about two words right now. We're going to talk about crafted, and we're going to talk about non-crafted. Crafted means there was man's intervention. Like a person came and did something to the sea moss before they just pulled it off the rock. A man came and did something to it. That's crafted. A man intervened in the growing of this before the product was finalized. Now you have just wild harvested, it's not crafted at all, which means that this sea moss just naturally came, floated about, got on this rock, went through the whole growth process, and a man just seen it, went up to it and got it off, and that's the product. Like, man had nothing to do with the growing of it, nothing to do with the location of it. It just happened on its own. Now, typically that's going to be the best sea moss you're going to get, the one that occurs naturally without man's intervention. But those sea mosses are rare, or that the productivity of that type of sea moss is not going to keep up with the demand. So it's going to be hard to find wild harvested, not crafted sea moss. So typically what you're going to find is you have wild crafted sea moss, and then you'll have, farmed sea moss, or and it's different type of formed sea moss as well. You can have formed sea moss, meaning you can have ocean formed sea moss, meaning, they'll get an area in the ocean. Man will go there and start the process, or, make a environment simulating a natural environment for in the ocean. And they'll start maybe like a underwater greenhouse or sea moss. Now, then you have pool formed sea moss as well. Now, pool formed sea moss is where people will grow sea moss in a pool, and they'll just simulate a natural ocean environment, or they will attempt to simulate a natural environment for sea moss to grow inside of a pool. Now, typically, pool farmed sea moss is the least quality sea moss you're gonna find, and you'll find these in a lot of they're starting to phase out now, but I typically see them in a lot of Jamaican shops and stuff like this. I've seen them, but I'm starting to see less and less as more people get the information and knowledge to know that this may not be the best quality sea moss. So people are starting to kind of know what to look for, and that's why I'm providing this video right here, so you can know what to look for, so you can make sure you get some good quality sea moss as well. And we'll do a demonstration later on. I got 2 examples I want to show you guys on good quality looking sea moss versus pool farmed sea moss. So we got that for you coming up. But yeah, I want to show you some underwater pictures of sea moss right here. This is the image of sea moss, and this you see they got all different colors, green, purple, but they typically attach to rocks in the ocean, in shallow ocean water where they can get sunlight. And yeah, this was a cool picture of that. And sea moss is generally, like I said, sea moss is generally safe to eat. You know what I'm saying? But some people have reported side effects. Now, this is something that's noted throughout my research. Although I will tell you, I have not experienced any side effects. I've been taking sea moss for years now, like 3-4 years. My story on how I got turned on to sea moss and its health benefits. I was going through my little awakening where I was trying to be as healthy as I can. I was researching, and I stumbled across Dr. Sebi, who's a Honduran herbalist. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know about Dr. Sebi, do your research, look him up. He had a major court case here in America, about some claims he was making for curing people from, different type of diseases. So, I was studying health and natural holistic healing, and I came across Dr. Sebi, and he was talking about the health benefits of sea moss. And I had took some advice from Dr. Sebi before, like some from his teachings, and it really helped me. So I decided I wanted to try sea moss as well, and I have. And I've received some benefits from it. Although I will preface this by saying, like, I do a lot more than just take sea moss. So it may be just a combination of things that I'm doing totality to keep me at a healthy position. But I don't really get sick or have any issues or ailments, but I think it's because I'm proactive in trying to know how my body works, what's healthy, and things like that. So your experience may be different than mine, but I'm going to talk about some of the side effects that people have reported when it comes to sea moss. And this is something I researched online. I have not experienced any of these personally, but I'm just going to go over a couple of them with you. Some people report side effects of having diarrhea sometimes. Some people reported abdominal cramps. Some people reported nausea if they consume it in large amounts. So typically you won't, no one experiences side effects if they stay within the recommended dose range, which is, I think, about 1 to 3 tablespoons a day. So a lot of these side effects people are experiencing is after they consume, large amounts of sea moss, which is not recommended because sea moss typically has very, very high levels of minerals in them that will far exceed your daily recommended dose if you consume too much of it. So it's so nutrient dense that it only takes a little bit to make a big difference. So just be mindful of that. Now, it's important to note that sea moss may contain contaminants like heavy metals and pollutants. And this goes into what I was telling you earlier about being mindful of the region in which your sea moss was harvested in, because if the water is polluted, the sea moss will absorb those things as well. So just make sure you're getting your sea moss from a reputable source. And it's always good to go with the source that's transparent. Like, if you're buying sea moss and you can't find any information about the company, you can't find any information about how they're harvesting their sea moss, you can't really trace they don't have any checks, and you can't really research them, you may not want to get your stuff from them, because a lot of times what you don't know can hurt you. People say what you don't know can't hurt you. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance, can destroy people and has destroyed people and will destroy a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So, just do your checks and balances and make sure you're getting good quality stuff. And it's 2023, man. You can research a lot, and if you find out that a company has been secretive or something like that, you may just want to not deal with them, because there's plenty of companies out here who's transparent and will tell you exactly how they're doing it, where they're getting it from. And I suggest you go with one of those. And later on, I'll show you the company where I've been ordering my sea moss from for the past, I say, 2 years. And they've always come through in the clutch. They've been pretty good, and I'm pleased with what I get from them every single time. So I'll show you that as well. I'm gonna show you guys some. It's different forms. Like I said, it's different forms that sea moss can be consumed in as well. The recommended daily dose of sea moss is approximately 1 to 2 tablespoons a day, and like I said, consuming in moderation, because it's very, very high. It can have high doses of iodine. So if you're taking sea moss because you're deficient in an area and you want to get your levels up, like let's say some sisters may have thyroid issues where they need to increase their iodine intake, I would say consult with a physician so you can get a good recommendation for them, because when you're dealing with iodine, it can affect hormone levels a lot. So just, take precautions, and I would lean to the side of less than more most of the times when we're talking about consuming sea moss. But I'm not a medical professional, and I suggest you consult with your physician if you have any ailments or you're considering using this as a holistic way to avoid taking maybe prescription pills or something like that. Consult with a physician, and they'll be able to guide you a little bit deeper than what we're going to touch on in this video. Now I'll show you some different forms that you'll be able to take sea moss in as well. Like I said, the most popular way that I've been seeing it taken, and the way that I consume it, is in a gel. To be honest, like I consume sea moss in a gel form. I get my sea moss dried out, I rehydrate it, and I mix it with water, and I make it into a gel, and I put in my smoothies and stuff like that. But many people, you can consume it in powder. You can sprinkle powder on top of smoothies, or some healthy ice cream, or whatever you're gonna do. Like, you can mix it in drinks, or you could some people take it in capsules, you know what I'm saying? But my thing about the capsules, the powders, and the gels is, if you're not making them your own, if you are not making these on your own, just think about the fact that you don't really know the quality of sea moss that's in them. Like, you're pretty much gonna have to trust that the person providing you with the capsules use quality sea moss and not a low budget, low end, pool formed sea moss inside of those capsules. Now, the way I do with the gel, I don't typically purchase gel from someone, because money is the root of all evil, and a lot of people will try to get as much money as they can. And in order to get as much money as you can, is get low costing sea moss and sell it for high profit. Now, in doing so, a lot of vendors will use pool formed sea moss, which is low quality sea moss that's not made in nature or by nature, and therefore it may have some health benefits to it, but it's not going to be nearly as healthy for you and contain nearly as the amount of dense amounts of vitamins and minerals as wild crafted and wild harvested sea moss would. So when you're getting these gels and stuff, ask those questions, and sometimes you can't even trust the answer they give you when you ask the questions. So I would just say, your best bet is to make your own gel, or make your own capsules, or make your own powder, because you'll actually be able to inspect and see the quality of the sea moss that you're going to be using and ingesting into your body. So, but there are some good companies that use good quality sea moss and make good products for you guys. But I'm one that like to know for sure. I don't like to assume or guess or take somebody's word for it all the time. Like, I like to know. So just be mindful of that. and you'll be all right. Just be mindful, you know what I'm saying? Just pay attention, observe all things, you know. But sea moss, and one of the things that I was learning from Dr. Sebi, he was talking about how, you know, our body supposedly, and I say supposedly, and people say whenever you're talking and you're teaching, you're always like putting up air quotes or talking like you don't really believe it. And it's not that I'm taught like I don't really believe it. I just understand that, you know, I believe in God. And I believe that us as humans, like, we don't really know everything there is to know. So if man make mistakes all the time. So if a man tell me it's 102 minerals in the human body, for all we know, it's some minerals that we don't even know about. Like, it's some stuff in us that we don't even know about. So that's why I do that. So don't trip and be like, I'm being skeptical, but I am, but it's a healthy skepticism because I understand levels. You know what I'm saying? I respect doctors, I respect physicians for the knowledge that they have, but I do understand that the Lord allowed them to have that knowledge and blessed them to live to be able to get these experiences. And I do understand that, you know, it's things that we don't know. We really don't know. You know, a lot of things, especially in science, are just theories. You know what I'm saying? They may be well thought out and well formulated, but, you know, it's a lot that we don't know. And I like to keep an open mind and understand that, you know, just because, you know, it's so-called 102 minerals that the human body needs, I'm understanding that when I was in school, they told us it was a certain number of planets, and now they say it's a different number of planets. You feel me? So like, man's knowledge tend to change. So I like to just keep it open. That way I don't tell you no lies. So supposedly the human body contains 102 minerals that are essential, and sea moss is said to contain 92 of those 102 minerals. And that's a very, very high number, man. And you're not going to find too many foods, if any, that contain this amount of proposed vitamins and minerals. And that's why it's considered a super food. Now, it includes things like iodine, calcium, iron, magnesium, potassium, and zinc. It's also a good source of fiber. And like I said, it's been used for centuries in traditional medicines to treat a variety of ailments. Sea moss, it can be, like I said, it can be consumed in different ways. You know, just make sure you're getting good quality sea moss, you know. And a lot of people use it to add it in smoothies, in soups, sauces, or different type of beverages. They just mix it in. Some people sprinkle it over yogurt or over oatmeal. Those are just some of the few ways that people consume sea moss. Greetings, bro. Greetings. Shout out to Cali, boy. But no problem, man. I like, you know, we spread information, we sharing information, man. But like I said, all these things I talk about on this channel is just to spark your interest and to get you to, you know, go on and do a little more research on your own, man. Because knowledge is power. And I like to introduce these things to you. So if you knew a little bit about sea moss, I hope I can just expound on that a little more. It's just, you know, and you can do some research and learn a little more about it. But yeah, sea moss been used for many, many years. You could trace it back to ancient China, or as far back as, you know, 600 BC. They was known to be using it. And yeah, it's got many, many health benefits. It's good for inflammation. Like I said, it's good for heart health, lowering blood pressure, all different type of things. Now, earlier on, I was talking about the different types of sea moss, and now I want to show you some ways in which the sea moss differs. So I'm gonna show you some quality sea moss, and I'm gonna show you some what I consider not quality sea moss, and show you the differences in the two to maybe help you make an informed decision if you want to try and you want to purchase some, so you don't get stuck with something that's less quality. All right, so what I'm gonna switch you guys over to my top down view so you can see I got examples of good versus bad sea moss. I won't say good versus bad. I'll just show you wild crafted sea moss, and then I'll show you like pool form raised sea moss. So I'm gonna switch over to my top down view. We got my desk right here. But yeah, I got two different kinds right here. Now I got them labeled wild crafted and pool form. Now we're gonna basically review the differences between wild crafted and pool form. Now wild crafted sea moss is crafted. So when you see crafted anywhere, that means there was man intervention. Now we talked about wild harvested sea moss, so it'll be no crafted. That means it's just in the ocean naturally. It just got there naturally, and a man seen it and just got it off the rock. That's not what either one of these is. Those really sea mosses are really, really hard to find. And just because something is not wild harvest doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's bad. I'm just saying that's the best of the best. That's like if you go to the grocery store and you see organic apples, and then you see regular apples. The regular apples may not be bad. You know what I'm saying? They're just a tier below the organic ones. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you another example. Let's say there's a apple tree that's just in the wild, in the forest, right? And a bear eats an apple from the apple tree, and then the bear goes take a boo-boo. A bear takes a boo-boo, and the seeds from the apple was in the boo-boo, and a tree just forms from that boo-boo and seed that the bear drops, and just forms and wherever the bear used the bear from it, and just happens without no human being there. That would be the equivalent of wild harvested sea moss. Just the animal doing it, nature doing it, man not doing anything. Now, wild crafted would be like, let's say a man, we'll say a bear it's more like a man is out in nature. He eats an apple and he plants seeds like that. He takes apples, he eat apple, you get about 6 seeds in the apple, and you go plant those 6 seeds maybe in a straight line. So 6 apple trees, and he just leave them, and later on 6 apple trees grow. He don't really bother them or nothing. They're in the same forest now. In the same forest where the bear did his thing, a man comes, he gets some seeds and plants them. That's wild crafted because it's growing in the wild. It's still growing in the same forest that it was originally at, and it still used bear manure. The humans still use the same bear manure to fertilize the seed, but the man just aligned the seeds how he wanted it to go. That would be the equivalent of wildcraft sea moss. Now, when you go pool form sea moss, now this is like the equivalent of a man going to the forest, getting an apple, eating the apple, getting the seeds. Now he gonna take the seeds out of the forest. Like we gonna leave the forest. We gonna take it and we gonna put it in a we gonna put it in, let's say we put it on a tent in our backyard, and then we put some UV lights over it, and we put like fertilizer from Home Depot in it, and it grows like that. That's gonna be the equivalent of this. It's not grown in its natural habitat, its natural environment, because we took it from the forest and we're growing it in a tent now. It's not getting natural sunlight. We're giving it UV lights from electricity now. You know what I'm saying? That's the equivalent of this. So that's the difference between wild crafted sea moss and pool crafted, you know, pool form sea moss. But that being said, you know, I would say always shoot for wild crafted sea moss if you can't find wild harvested. Like if you're gonna get some crafted sea moss, get wild crafted, because that wild crafted lets you know that it was really still in nature, in its natural environment. Man may have just, you know, aligned it in a more accessible way so they can harvest it later on. So it still have a lot of good health, nutrients and minerals, but I don't want you to get it twisted to think it that it's like wild harvested. It's still a difference, but there's still some value to be had in this as well. But let's take a look at the difference between these two. Now, this right here, I got this from Vital Vegan. They're a company based out of Jamaica. I've been using them for a couple years, and I'll show you their website a little later. But you know, I highly recommend them. I've got good products from them. But we're gonna pop this open. And if you can see, I'm gonna pull some out for you guys. It's very thin, very brittle. It's hard, it's really hard to tear apart. Hold tight. I'm gonna take a little chunk for you. I'm gonna close the bag back up. Now, notice how this looks. It's very thin. It's very, very dried out, very brittle. You have different colorations, light colorations. It is a product of nature, so it's not gonna always be uniform in color and shape and stuff like that. So you're gonna have variance in colors. You got a little dark brown right there, but this is typically what you want it to look like. Now, pool farm sea moss is typically much thicker, and this is a great question right here. All right, Cali Boy asks, so can you eat it straight from the bag? You probably could eat it like this, but I wouldn't recommend it, you know. But if you ate it like this, I would say don't eat it like this, simply because it's probably not as clean as you think it is. So I wouldn't eat it straight out of the bag. No, I wouldn't eat it straight out of the bag. You know, I would clean it, then rehydrate it, because right now this is dehydrated. Because when they harvest sea moss, typically they sun dry it and then they package it up and send it out. So it may have debris, sand, particles from the ocean in here. So I wouldn't recommend eating it straight out of the bag. I would recommend cleaning it. And then after you clean it, I would recommend soaking it so you can rehydrate it. Or if you want to make a powder out of it, I would just clean it and then re-dry it and then make your powder. But no, I wouldn't recommend eating it straight out of the bag, simply because you don't know if the packager, you know, have a cleaning process. And even with this company that I use, they're pretty good, but I've noticed when I clean it and stuff, I still find like little sand particles or ocean particles in it that I have to remove. Now notice how this is very, very dried out, right? And notice it's really, really brittle. Notice how thin the strands are, and notice how there isn't any salt on it. You know what I'm saying? This is from salt water, but there's not any visible salt. Now, when you're getting pool formed sea moss, a lot of time they have to add salt in it for a preservative. Now, that's a key indicator that you have some pool formed sea moss if you see a lot of salt crystals on it. Now, what we're gonna do right here, we're gonna open this bag, and I'm gonna give you a demonstration on this. I don't think I have a some scissors, but I'm an Incredible Hulk this. I'm just gonna rip it open. Yeah. But yeah, boom, we just open this up. Now I'm gonna pull some of this out, and we're gonna talk about some key differences. Now, if you notice, this is much thicker, and you see all these, this is salt on here. You see all this salt? This is and it has a very, very stronger, like, it has a strong smell to this, and it's very, very salty, and it's not really brittle. It's not dried out. It's like, I've probably had this package for over 6 months. Somebody got it for me, and it's not dried out or anything. You see how thick these strands are, and you see all this salt. This is added salt as a preservative. This is a good indicator that this is low quality sea moss, and these are things to look out for. If it's very thick strands like this, very thick, see how it's very thick root strands, that's some indicator that you got pool raised sea moss. And all this salt, this is ridiculous. You know, this is not what you want. You don't want all this added salt. That's not where it's at. So this right here is a good example of what you don't want to get. You know what I'm saying? If anybody trying to sell you this sea moss like this, just, politely tell them no. Just tell them no, because you're not gonna get nearly the nutritional value that you're gonna get from, a higher quality sea moss. So this is a no. This is not the move right there. But that right there was just a quick example. I'm gonna show you the good kind again, so you can see the difference. See how thin this is, and you see how thick this is. See how brittle this is. See how there's no salt on this, and you see how this is full of salt. And you just see me, I just opened this out the bag. So there's real time. And this is when this rehydrates. Once you put this in water, I'm gonna show you what that'll look like. Okay, because it'll rehydrate. It'll look more like, I had an image for you guys. When you soak it, it'll look a little more like this. It'll swell up, and it'll be more towards the size of this one, but only after it's rehydrated. See, when you rehydrate this, it's gonna swell up like a balloon, and typically you don't want your sea moss strands to be that thick. Like that's an indicator that it's low quality pool formed sea moss. So just like you see all these fruits nowadays, they're so huge, you know what I'm saying, that they're growing. Like, like they're using fertilizers, they're using additives in the soil to make it balloon up that big, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I hope you guys got some good information from this live stream. And yeah, that's just a little bit of the health benefits and some things to look out for when you're thinking about trying sea moss. And I'm not gonna hold you guys too long. I just want to do a quick live stream with you guys. I always enjoy getting on here and sharing information with you guys. I had another good question right there. He said, can you do a live on different ways to prepare gels, powder, etc.? Yes, that's something that I can do for you guys. And if you don't already follow me over on different social medias, hit me up. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook, and because I do live demonstrations over there, like when I make my smoothies and stuff. So I have done demonstrations on how to make these type of gels and stuff. But if you haven't tried out, and you know, over here, just make sure you guys hit that bell notification so you can be notified whenever I go live over here on YouTube or when I drop new video content. So yes, that is definitely something I can do for you guys. Come on over here and show you guys how I make my sea moss gel, because that's the primary way I use it. But I have done videos like that over on Instagram. So if you want a little more personalized experience, getting to know Brother Andrew, check my Instagram out. And yeah, you can see a little more of my day-to-day routines and things I be doing and crafts I be making. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. It's been real, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.